What is going on, everybody? And this has been a particular topic I've wanted to discuss for quite a while now, and I'm curious at where you guys stand on this particular issue. So, there has been a consensus among some gamers and some people in gaming media that gaming is headed into an all-digital age, as in everything about gaming from our purchases, just everything from top to bottom is going to be all handled digitally. As in, we will no longer be able to go to the game store and purchase a physical copy of a game. Everything is going to be digital. And some people have embraced this direction. Some people like the idea that we are headed in this direction. They like the fact that they can just sit on their couch and just purchase a full retail game through their game console or their PC, just right then and there. They don't even have to leave their house to do it. And it's more convenient for them. And they like the fact that they will have to just do this from now on. Now, me personally, I honest to God hope that gaming never ends up that way. I would hate to see gaming become all digital. And me personally, I always buy physical. I always buy physical unless I don't have a choice. That is the only time I buy digital copies. Like, I'll give you an example. Witcher 3 is about to have their first big expansion DLC called Hearts of Stone. And it's supposed to have a physical copy. But the physical copy has been delayed. I just read that earlier. Now, some of you may know, I'm a huge fan of the Witcher series, and The Witcher 3 so far is my game of the year for this year. I've put so many hours into The Witcher 3. I love that game. Despite its flaws, I love that game so much. So you would think that me purchasing a big expansion DLC is a day one purchase. But no, I'm going to wait for the physical copy. Now, some of you might think that I'm crazy for that. Like, why wouldn't you want to buy it right now? Because I always buy physical unless I don't have a choice. Now, maybe my line of thinking here is too old school. Maybe because I'm a gamer who grew up started gaming in the late 80s, early 90s, where everything was cartridges and CDs, nothing was digital, there was no DLC or anything like that, everything was physical. If you wanted a game, you had to get up off your ass, get your mom or dad, or grandma, whoever, to drive to the game store to buy you a game, or that's the only way you could get a game back then. Now, one would think that maybe I'm just too attached to that mindset, that has always been the way to buy a game. But honestly, the more I've thought about it over the years, I see more negatives if gaming were to end up being all digital. And honestly, I just see more negatives in general from digital copies of games. And I would like to discuss some of these negatives with you. So, to me, developers have more control over the digital copies of their product. Now, I fully understand that when you buy a physical copy of a game, you don't 100% own it. Despite the fact that you're holding it in your hand and you paid your money for it, you don't 100% own the intellectual property. I firmly understand that. But these developers and publishers have more control over digital purchases. Like, for example, if Sony or Microsoft, for example, or even Nintendo, I guess, I don't know why they would, well, I guess they would do this. Just anybody, if they wanted to take away something that you purchased digitally, they could just take it away like that. Gone. They could just take it away like that, and there's not a goddamn thing you can do about it. But if you own the physical copy of said game, you own a piece of it. Now, you might have to jump through some hoops and do some workarounds to be able to play said game again, but at least you have that opportunity. You have less control over your digital purchases. And with the way gaming is a lot today, with the fact that these publishers and developers are starting to bring out these season passes that are overly expensive. They're starting to throw more microtransactions into their games. Now, I firmly understand that they're completely optional, but the fact that they're doing this, they're trying to needle us. They are trying to poke us into giving them more money. They're trying to exert more control. To me, if everything was digital, they would have more control. And I don't want to give these people more control. I don't. I'm sorry. So, another thing is that if your entire game collection was digital, and just say your PC or your game console is destroyed, there goes your entire collection. It's gone. Now, I understand you can re-download everything, but that would take a very long time. If your PC or console would get destroyed and you have a physical collection, you would just have to replace the console or the PC, and then you just play all your games again. And I understand that's kind of an out there example, but I honestly, and I could go on, I don't want to go on too long, I just see more negatives about digital purchases and just everything being all digital than physical copies. Honestly, what is really negative about physical copies? The only two things I can think of is that it takes up space in your home, which, honestly, isn't that big of a deal to me. I mean, it might be to some, but it really isn't to me. I like having a nice collection I can show off. And the only other thing I think of is that you have to go get it. And, honestly, I don't see what's really that bad about some physical exercise. What is so bad about getting up off your ass and going to get the game? I like doing that. I like going to game stores and talking with other gamers about games and sharing our experiences and stuff like that. And I also like getting collector's editions, which you can't do that with digital. So, yeah. I can go on and on, but I'm going to end this right here. So just let me know what you think. And until next time, have a good one.